Well, Robert Woods tears his ACL on practice on Friday. And he got up, they said he got up in reports that he looked fine and he didn't think it was going to be a major injury. And all of a sudden, after further tests, that he tore his ACL. We're going to get to that. I'm going to do we'll go through the Robert Woods injury. It's a Monday night game, so we'll go through that. We're going to go through 8 games, and then that last game, of course, is the Rams and 49ers. And then we'll go through Robert Woods' injury, the different players that you should start thinking about picking up in replacement of Robert Woods. All right, let's go through it. These 8 games, Browns, Patriots, that's where we left off. Nick Chubb officially out because of COVID. So Dearness Johnson is going to have a decent game here. Not probably as good as a game he had the first time around, but I mean, you're talking probably about 14 fantasy points when it comes to it, and that's going to be good enough probably for an RB2 there. Patriots, no Damian Harris, maybe Ramondre Stevenson, Brandon Bolden could be the actual player here, or J.J. Taylor. Again, against the Browns, who have seemed to be a porous defense. I'm just going to, if you need a desperate play, Ramondre Stevenson, it would be my first choice. If he's out, then it would be Brandon Bolden. And if Ramondre Stevenson is out, then J.J. Taylor could be a really deep play. Everybody else, you're not starting Baker, you're not starting Mack. You're pretty much starting no one else in this game. I'm not even trusting Jarvis Landry to this point, unfortunately. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. It's going to be a running game. It's going to be a Brandon Bolden, Dearness Johnson, or Ramondre Stevenson game. And you're going to have bits and pieces here and there from the other players. Falcons, Cowboys, let's go straight to it. Dak, I think, is going to have a bounce back game. I want to start as many pieces as I possibly can. I want to start Pitts. I want to start Schultz. I want to start Lamb and Cooper and Zeke. And Pollard as a flex, and Falcons, you're going to start Cordell Patterson, Pitts. Of course, I think I said Matt Ryan already. And then I would start Russell Gage as a kind of a wide receiver 3 here. I know that Dallas's defense is good, like with Travion Diggs, but what he does great, he also lets up huge plays, and I think Russell Gage will be the benefactor of that. And so that's what I believe. That game's pretty easy. Panthers versus Cardinals. We don't know the exact the injury out or what the update is on the Cardinals. Let's just kind of go through it. You're starting Connor. You're starting Murray and Hopkins if they're there. If you're not starting them if they're not there. And you're starting Kirk because he is actually a decent wide receiver 2 on that team. A low wide receiver 2, high wide receiver 3 this week against the Panthers, who do have a pretty decent defense. Panthers, you're starting CMC. You're starting DJ Moore reluctantly. Unfortunately, kind of you have to. It's going to be PJ Walker's show. Cam Newton might be there next week. You don't know. It's a mess because Sam Darnold, if you haven't been updated, fractured shoulder blade, which is, of course, the back here. And so he's going to be out probably 6 to 8 weeks, in my opinion there. So he's going to be out for a while. And then so we got Vikings, Chargers, Dalvin Cook. I think he's going to eat and feed this game. And if you missed it, I did a video on Dalvin Cook on why you do not need to sell him in redraft. But in Dynasty, 2022 might be a little bit foggy or kind of gray area right now. And so you're starting Thielen, you're starting Jefferson. I understand that one of those two is probably going to be outside the top 30. In fact, every game except one of them has been outside the top 30. They've not been both in the top 30 except for one game. So you're going to have a bad game by somebody. But I mean, the other guy's going to be probably top 10. So you have to make that bet. Kirk's going to have an okay game here. On the other side, I'm starting as many Chargers as I possibly can. That's Mike Williams. That's Keenan Allen. That's Jared Cook. Not Darnold Parham yet, but I believe Eckler. I mean, all these guys, Vikings defense is just a shell of itself, and they have no corners. They have literally no corners. Patrick Peterson hurt. Breland was hurt, and he's not great anyways. And then you have Cameron Dantzler, who is not good. I'm a Vikings fan, so I know the Vikings the best as anybody, and they let up a lot of wide receiver points. Seahawks, Packers. Russell's back, so start up Lockett, start up DK. Their running back will hopefully probably be Alex Collins. You're gonna start him against the Packers here, and Packers you're gonna start Aaron Jones. Aaron Rodgers is playing. You're gonna start Aaron Rodgers unless you have a better option, which there's not too many better options out there. And then you're gonna start Devontae, and that's about it. I mean, these games are pretty easy. The first half of the slate was a little bit harder. Eagles, Broncos. You're starting Hurts. You're not starting Bridgewater. I don't care. It's against the Eagles, I know, but you fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you, or something like that. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on whatever George Bush said, that you're not going to fool me again. And Teddy Bridgewater had a really good matchup last week and just stunk. So Against the Eagles, though, they have a porous defense. So Javonte, Melvin Gordon, your running back twos from now until one of them figures out if they want to start, if to be the starter, or until one of them gets hurt. And so right now, it's RB2 land for them. Cortland Sutton, I'm benching this week, actually. I'm just, at this point, Jerry Jeudy has done enough. I mean, 9 targets for 3 games for Cortland Sutton with Jerry Jeudy there. And Jerry Jeudy, I think, is the wide receiver 1 here. They're just, with Teddy Bridgewater, he's dinking dunking. He's not throwing these deep bombs like Drew Lock did last year. And so right now you have limited upside on Cortland Sutton, who I think is a better deep play. And Jerry Jeudy's a more in-space guy. And so if you look at that, then Jerry Jeudy is going to be a better start, in my opinion, against the Eagles. Devontae Smith is a play here. No one else in the receiving game. Goddard's, again, a low-end tight end 1. But when it comes to Devontae Smith, we're talking about, he's an okay wide receiver, probably 3. High 3. Just Broncos defense has been good at times, and so he could get shut down. And no Jalen Reagor this week or anything like that. If I'm starting a running back, I'm just going to predict this. I am going to go out on a limb. I actually have a bet with my dad. He'd take Jordan Howard. I'm taking Boston Scott. So I'm going to say Boston Scott over Jordan Howard. I'm just, the points per play that they run, I mean, yeah, Jordan Howard's better, but I think Boston Scott being out in the field more, I have to believe that Boston Scott's going to be a better play here. And the RB1 on the team is Jalen Hurts still. So that's what we have to talk about. So Chiefs, Raiders, Rams, 49ers, that's Sunday night, Monday night. Pat Mahomes, Derek Carr, those are starts. I think Derek Carr is a start here. I think they're going to score more points. Derek Carr had wonderful weeks the last 2 games around against the Chiefs defense here. And so the wide receiver weapons, Waller, I think Renfro is actually a start, a wide receiver 3 start. So a surprising play here. Kenyon Drake, I think, will actually have a really good game out of the backfield. And Josh Jacobs, of course, there as well. Chiefs, it's going to be a mess. I think CEH is back, but will he actually be back 100%? I'm not going to start actually a Chief running back in this game, which might be surprising. But Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, you're going to start. Michael Hardman, no, like I think I've been saying pretty much all year. So now we get to the Rams and 49ers. Let's go 49ers first. You're going to start Debo. You're going to start Elijah Mitchell. Brandon Ayuk is starting to heat up, and so you're going to start Kittle. And with Ayuk in this game, I'm just going to, if I need a wide receiver, because maybe I have a Woods injury, then Ayuk would be the play. Or else I'm just going to bench Ayuk in this matchup against the Rams. The Rams, we're starting Henderson, we're starting Stafford, we're starting Cooper Kupp. So now we're down to Robert Woods, who unfortunately tore his ACL, and you have Odell Beckham and you have Van Jefferson. What do I think is going to happen? I think Odell Beckham will ease himself into the field play, but I'm actually curious to think. I wonder if he got injured and he just kept trying to play through it. And what I mean by that is they said he got hurt and then continued to practice. I am very suspicious, and I don't know if this is legal or not, but I wonder if he got hurt. They knew that Robert Woods got hurt and was going to potentially miss some time, and they went and reached out to Odell and said, hey, Robert Woods is hurt. You're going to be the wide receiver 2 on this team. That is what I'm curious about. I know the timeline doesn't make a ton of sense, but I'm wondering. Because it is oddly suspicious that Odell Beckham would fit with the Rams is a horrible fit if Robert Woods is healthy. It's a horrible fit. Horrible, horrible, horrible. If Robert Woods is hurt for an entire year because of an ACL injury, it's actually a good fit. And so that makes me curious. What do you think? What do you think about the Robert Woods? You tell me if you think Robert Woods was actually hurt when they had their little meeting. Because where's Odell fit in that group? 3rd? Maybe 4th. So I think him and Van Jefferson, I think is a good pickup here too, because Van Jefferson is going to be more well in tune with the offense. So Odell Beckham might take a couple weeks to get into gear. And there is no guarantee that Odell Beckham is actually something. And so Odell Beckham could come out and do amazing, but he also could do nothing. So we have to kind of temper our expectations. So what did I say? Van Jefferson, I think, is a pickup in all redraft leagues. Odell Beckham, of course, if he's dropped, he's picked up in all leagues as a bench flyer, basically. If I had to pick one for the rest of the year, I'm going to pick Odell barely just because of his upside. But Van Jefferson was a 2nd-round pick last year, and so he is somebody to note that could be a guy who is a good route runner and would fit more into the Robert Woods role. In fact, a lot of times he catches the ball, I go, hey, Robert Woods, and I go, oh, crap, it's 12, not 2. I wonder what Odell's number will be. I don't know if they said his number, if it's going to be, can it be 13? Kupp is 10. Stafford is, I don't know what Stafford is. Whatever Stafford is. Okay, anyway, so that's what I believe. And Robert Woods for dynasty value, depends. I mean, ACL injury, you're talking about a full year. He's already, I think, 29. It sucks. It really sucks. But you're probably talking about, not a career ending, but like, it's going to be a hit. Like, you could probably get a first from last week, but this week you're probably looking at a high third or a late second. It's just a full year. He's going to be 30, maybe 30 and a half, whatever it is, and it's not guaranteed that he's going to come back to the situation. He might come back to the situation, and Van Jefferson might have a stranglehold onto that wide receiver 2 position, or they sign Odell Beckham to a longer contract. They have money. They figure out money like no others. They're good at that. So, again, this is Marcus Nice Simple Dads. You let me know about the conspiracy theory. All right. Peace out. Take care.
Now turn up.